What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Final Whistle. I'm Nathan alongside JJ. Today, Danny is not here, and it's kind of unfortunate Danny isn't here, JJ, since you are a Mets fan. You don't experience as much pain as us Yinzers do when it comes to a baseball team.
Well,
Especially,
that's like in recent years. Before, the Mets
well,
were the laughing stock of the league, while the Pirates were a consistent playoff team. Let's not
I
forget
would
that.
I wouldn't call 3 years a consistent playoff team. 3 years in the last my lifetime. But other than that, I thought today I would give a State of the Union address. And then after, we're going to talk some Major League Baseball. We're going to talk some who are standouts this year, who are our standout teams. I know you'll probably say the Mets. I have a couple in my mind too, even though the Mets
I got a few as well.
starting out hot too. But yeah, State of the Union time. So JJ, I don't know if you know everything that's been going on in Pirates land. Do you have a gist of what's going on?
You've been
Yeah,
terrible.
they've
Awful.
stunk, and I will say they have completely crapped the bed. And I told Danny I was going to drop a pipe bomb today for all of our SmackDown Hotel viewers on Wednesdays. But yeah, JJ, this team sucks. This ownership sucks. This front office is a piece of crap. Ben Cherington is the worst general manager I've ever seen try to manage a baseball team. Derek Shelton is not a good manager of a Major League Baseball team. And honestly, the president, Travis Williams, is not a good president of a Major League Baseball team. This season has been a disaster for all things Pittsburgh Pirates related. Not just the crap they put out on the field, off the field stuff. The Bucko Bricks crap where they discarded and trashed people's dead relatives into a landfill. They had the Roberto Clemente fiasco, which in my opinion wasn't that big of a deal because they already fixed it. They just had an usher beating up a fan who deserved it, may I say. But now that video is going viral, and I don't even want to talk about the very unfortunate situation that happened at PNC Park on, I think, last week. I don't know if you saw the fan who fell. He is okay, which is honestly very miraculous.
Yeah.
There was a report that said he was walking and won Chatham, and so you know what? Good for that guy. Great to see.
Thank
but
God.
Yeah, things have not gone well in Pittsburgh.
I just hope he didn't jump off. I really hope that was not the case.
No, supposedly he was drunk and propelled.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't stop. But good for that guy being okay. That is a good story in Pirates land. But back to awful. This ownership, people will blame Bob Nutting. And yes, he sucks. He is an awful owner. But it gets to a point where the blame might need to be taken off of him at some points. And that sounds crazy that I have to say this. Ben Cherington, this is his fault. And I come with receipts of what he has done wrong for this organization.
Oh, no. Here we go.
When it comes to being a general manager, JJ, it's not just about signing players. It's about developing players. It is about developing an offense. When I look at the Pirates lineup night in, night out, there is literally one person that Ben Cherington has acquired in 6 years that has been a decent baseball player, Joey Bart. Of all people, it's Joey Bart. 27 games this year, a 276 batting average. He's picking off basically where he left off last season. Other than that, guys he's drafted within the last 6 years, the only ones that have been able to consistently crack a lineup that have looked okay has been Nick Gonzalez, who got injured in game 1 this year, and he was a 6th overall pick. Their number 1 overall pick a couple years ago, Henry Davis, has stunk. He has not looked like a number 1 overall pick. Currently, 10 games. He was starting in AAA. They had to call him up because of an injury to Joey Bart and Endy Rodriguez, their other guy he traded for. Henry Davis, so far this season, and I really hope he figures it out for the Pirates' sake and for his own sake. But right now, he's kind of pulling off that Joey Bart career arc where he's going to stink, go elsewhere. Hopefully it clicks. Henry Davis, here's a slash line right now. 143 average, 200 OBP, 250 slugging, a 450 OPS, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, 1 homer, 4 hits, 28 at-bats, 10 games.
Jesus
Henry
Christ.
Davis, he pulls the ball foul for home runs all the time. I don't know how many foul ball of home runs I have counted this year. And it's funny to say, he isn't even the biggest problem of this team right now. The problem is the GM has not developed a single hitting prospect that has flourished in his 6 years as a general manager. And people say, oh, this is all Bob Nutting's fault. Oh, I mean, it is his fault too for not spending money. But here's the thing about Bob Nutting. Is he the one drafting players? Is he the one developing players? No, that is on the general manager, and he has done none of that. Yes, Ben Cherington has won a World Series in his past, but other than that, it has been consistent losing. Blue Jays, Red Sox, Pirates, loser, loser, loser. I don't care about his fluke World Series he won in Boston. This dude gave Pablo Sandoval an awful contract there. It was him. This dude is not a good general manager. You can blame Derek Shelton, the coach, all you want. And I mean, he'll probably be the scapegoat. I really think he will be the scapegoat for the Pirates. He might be fired as soon as this week, and I hope so. But here's the thing. It's not all his fault with what the player, what's he given? The lineup on a daily basis. Here's the starting lineup for today. You ready for this? Game 2 against the St. Louis Cardinals. Let me pull this up on my phone here because I don't want to crash my stream. Paul Skeens on the mound, who in Paul Skeens starts there, he is 3-3. They don't score him.
By the way, I was considering going to the Mets-Pirates game on Tuesday night, but then I found out Skeens was pitching tonight, so I'm a little disappointed about that.
They playing in New York next weekend already.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Here's the Pirates lineup for today's game 2 after a 6-3 loss, and we'll get to why they lost last night too. O'Neal Cruz breaking out. How about that? 252 average, 889 OPS, 8 home runs, 18 RBIs. Go figure the year he finally breaks out, the team sucks. Like, this is his first big year he's been having. He's looking like an all-star. He's looking like he could receive maybe a couple MVP votes on the short end. He is looking like a really good baseball player. Brian Reynolds, a 667 OPS. He is starting out very slow. Andrew McCutchen right now, JJ, is one of the Pirates' best hitters. A 749 OPS. Nothing against Kutch, but at this stage of his career, he should be in the middle of the pack. You shouldn't have to rely on Andrew McCutchen going in and day out doing stuff. Here's the biggest one. Spots 4 through 9 today are a black hole. It is nothing of substance to be worried about if you're a Matthew Liberatore of the St. Louis Cardinals. Ke'Bryan Hayes, who is batting a 603 OPS and a 246 average.
I was high on him too, so I'm kind of disappointed.
He hits nothing but singles. He grounds out all the time. It is not fun to watch. And here's a guy you know a lot. He was on the Mets spring training, Alexander Canario.
Yeah, he was solid for the Mets.
Here's how he's doing right now. A 132 batting average, a 435 OPS. He is starting literally every other day, it seems. It went from a point where you bring in this guy, what is he doing? Because he disappears after he hits a home run, because that's what the coach does. You bench the players who do good the day after. It's hilarious. And now he's practically starting every day because your big offseason addition of Tommy Pham is a piece of crap. He sucks. He is awful. He's not even the
big acquisition. We know who the real big acquisition was.
Spencer Horwitz.
And
he is hurt. And he's in AAA Indianapolis.
How? Is he hurt?
You know what's even the better part? The GM traded for this guy knowing he had a chronic wrist issue.
Oh, my God.
Because he loves Spencer Horwitz so much. And I'll go off the rails a little bit. Ben Cherington, in his tenure with the Pirates, only trades with teams he knows and is comfortable with. The San Diego Padres, he trades the starter every year. So Andrew Heaney is going to be a Padre in a few months. Just like Rich Hill was traded there, Martin Perez last year, and now this year will be Andrew Heaney. He only trades with the Blue Jays since he worked there. He only trades with the Red Sox since he worked there. It's like the same teams. Going on through the lineup, they called up Matt Gorski a while. Like his stat lines, when you see an 813 OPS, you think that's good, a 250 average. This dude strikes out a lot. That's his problem.
So
just called
with what you just said about Ben Cherington, it seems like I have to get rid of all my photoshops of Mitch Keller in a Mets jersey.
I'll get to that because I think there's going to be a fire sale this trade deadline.
Can y'all please give us Mitch Keller? Like, I've been wanting this dude for 3 years.
Let me get to my favorite Pirate this year that everyone's known and loved. This is Ben Cherington's basically boyfriend, it seems. This is his guy, and he believes in him so much, he's starting every day. Jared Triolo. I don't know if you ever...
garbage.
You ready to hear this? He won the utility gold glove last year. That's his only calling card. And what's funny about that, they're doing a giveaway on Kids Day on Sunday, a Jared Triolo action figure. I would hate to be a 14-year-old going to a Pirate game and Jared Triolo action figure is your giveaway instead of like a Batman mask or something. Here's Jared Triolo's stats, and this is the guy Ben Cherington on Sunday on his radio show in Pittsburgh before the game said he's waiting to click. He thinks it's there. There's some power. His slash line right now, a 148 batting average, a 217 OBP, a 204 slugging, and a whopping 421 OPS. 421. The guy, a shortstop who's never had an opportunity in Liover Peguero, is batting 8th, his first start of the year. Every time you call him up, he doesn't play. He was called up about almost a week ago, it seems, and he's been riding the bench for Jared Triolo. If you're going to suck, play the young guys. I want to see what they can do in long experiences. They might have sucked in the minor leagues. Peguero wasn't the best in AAA. Henry Davis, that is, wasn't the best in AAA. Matt Gorski struck out a lot in AAA. But here's the thing, JJ. If you are a rebuilding team and if you are going to try to tank now, which what it seems what you should be, and if you think you just need to suck, let the young guys play. See what they got, man. And then batting 9th, of course, we already talked about him as Henry Davis. I, however, want to talk about the big key free agent signing on the offense right now, Tommy Pham. What a joke this has been. He's batting 178, 257 OBP, 218 slugging, and a 475 OPS. I'm pretty sure, didn't Tommy Pham play for the Mets for a bit? If I remember this right.
Yeah.
Correct? How'd that go?
So this is going to be kind of crazy to say. In 2023, there was a point in time where Tommy Pham was our best hitter. I was upset when we traded him. He was good.
Which is crazy. This dude is now on,
really,
I think, his 12th
good
team.
With the Mets.
Like, this is a journeyman, and he just sucks. He's
really
trash.
liked him. I liked Tommy Pham. He was a slap hitter. He was consistent for RBIs. I mean, he wasn't that bad. I could pull up his stats right now on the Mets real fast. So.
Yeah, you do that really quick. Tommy Pham so far in his Pirates tenure, the highlight, JJ, has been a walk-off sacrifice fly that was a stupid blooper, and him telling an Angels fan giving him an obscene hand gesture. That is his Pirates tenure so far.
Okay, so in 79 games played, Tommy Pham had 62 hits, 15 doubles, 10 home runs, 36 RBIs. He did strike out 56 times with a slash line of 268, 348, and a 472. So solid.
That's the best Tommy Pham has looked since he left the Mets.
Yeah.
Ever since. And here's the thing that Ben Cherington sucks the most at. And people will blame Bob Nutting for this because they don't spend money. But so many other teams, the Rays, the Guardians, the Brewers, the Reds even, have been able to win a little bit without spending money. Without doing that. The Rays, the Athletics this year, man. The Athletics. I mean, they had to spend money, but the Athletics are a second place team right now in the AL West. They look good. They look fun. Lawrence Butler looks fun. Jacob Wilson, even though he doesn't walk, looks fun.
I have both of them on my fantasy team, and I'm very disgruntled with Lawrence Butler this year.
Yeah, I'm still high on him. I think he's having an okay start, but fantasy-wise, it's not the best. But you look at what those teams do, and you can say all you want. If you're a Pirates fan watching this, and we all agree, Bob Nutting sucks. But the GM has been trash. He has not been good enough to build a team. And what makes me even more scared about this is the next GM that I hope comes in here. They're going to have to rebuild as much as we hate to say it. They're going to have to blow it all up. The only players, it's sad, the player that's going to get the most out of them is Paul Skeens. But here's the thing. If you're Bob Nutting, you probably don't want to trade Paul Skeens because he's bringing in revenue. Those are the only games you're basically selling out. And even this year, fans are basically not going to those games either. The only players that have been fun to watch this year for the Pittsburgh Pirates on a night-in, night-out basis have been Paul Skeens, even though he's 3-3. I don't care about his record because they don't score for him. And O'Neal Cruz, who's breaking out. That's it. And it's crazy to say those are the two players that are going to give you the most when you make a trade. When the next GM comes in, whoever it is, I hope they can do a better job, man. But here's the thing about this. Ben Cherington has done nothing with the limited funds, people like to say, that he's been given. He makes the wrong decisions. He could, like, it's crazy that I have to say this. In the Pirates' budget in the offseason, along the lines of a Tommy Pham type, they could have signed Austin Hayes, who I didn't really want, but he's been a lot better. He went to the Reds for practically the same amount. I didn't want this guy either, but so far for the Braves, he looks pretty good. Alex Verdugo, and the Pirates are rumored with him. Max Kepler of the Phillies would have been a little bit more, but that's in the Pirates' budget, man, around $10 million. This team spent $10.5 million on a reliever and a Aroldis Chapman last year. And you're telling me they couldn't do anything near that this year? This was year 6 of your tenure as a general manager. Year 6. This is your year on the hot seat. And the best you could have done was trade for Spencer Horwitz, who has a chronic wrist issue, who honestly I think can be good. The Blue Jays fans, it's funny, after that trade, Blue Jays fans are like, ooh, the Pirates got the better player out of this. And it's crazy to see another fan base be like, oh, the Pirates actually won this trade, we think. I think he can be good, but he's not the answer. When Spencer Horwitz and Nick Gonzalez magically come back from injury in a few weeks, it's magically not going to save the season. Bubba Chandler's still in AAA, and I'll get to this really quick because I know you got to go in a little bit, and I want to talk some MLB. AAA prospects, Bubba Chandler's coming up soon. He's the second best right-handed pitcher prospect in the league, top 20 prospect, and he's 15th at the top of my head. Here's the thing.
Bubba.
Yeah, I like him too. Here's the thing about Bubba Chandler. If this front office is going to be fired, why are they holding him hostage so long? Why do they want the extra year? Why? Call him up now. He needs to be up this weekend. They always love to wait for, we're back at home. Let's call him up now. They did the same with Paul Skeens last year. They trotted him out. I was at graduation last year, and I missed the first part of Paul Skeens' start because I was walking at graduation.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bubba Chandler, on the other hand, they're making him wait, too. He just won International League Player of the Month, Pitcher of the Month in AAA.
By the way, you mentioned graduation. I've got my high school graduation in 2 weeks, and then after in 2 months, and then not even 2 months, like a month and a half, and then that Saturday, I think I'm going right to Pittsburgh for Mets Pirates. Let's go. That's going to be a graduation trip. I hope I'm going to
try to go.
I hope to see you and Herb there.
Yeah, as much as I'm hating on the Pirates right now, I'll still go to games.
But I want to make a deal with you right now.
What's the deal?
If Paul Skeens pitches, I need you to get me one of those fake mustaches. One of the Skeens
It's crazy. He doesn't really do the mustache anymore.
What?
He has like a beard and a mustache.
No wonder he sucks this year.
He doesn't suck. He has a 2.74 ERA.
No wonder he's 3-3 because the mustache magic is gone.
And here's the thing about that. Like, it's the team that loses him the games. He's only lost like actual 2 games. Like the game against the Cubs last week, he allowed 3 home runs in 1 inning, which was kind of crazy. But like there was one before that he was probably the reason they lost. Bad pitching. But a bad Paul Skeens start, I think the worst one has been 4 earned runs ever, which is hilarious. Here's the thing about the minor leagues, and I'll say this really quick. I preach about development, and there's nothing in the future. There is legit no hitting prospect in the future I'm excited about, and then that could be up this year. This year, the best hitting prospects right now that fans know are Termar Johnson, who's in Double-A, and I think 20 years old at the top of my mind, a high school prospect, and Connor Griffin, who you drafted last year in Low-A, and he's tearing the ball, like the cover off the ball. He is killing it. Like, fans are hoping Connor Griffin can be like the Pirates version of Mike Trout and hopefully less injuries. That's how that is. And I hope he can, because he is killing it. But it gets to a point where I'd rather see an 18, 19-year-old Connor Griffin who's never hit above Low-A play better than Jared Triolo every day. Like, it won't happen. But, like, this organization is nothing but pitching prospects. There is nothing in the horizon when it comes to offense. And it is Ben Cherington's fault for not being able to develop anyone that is of substance good at baseball. You see those jerseys behind me? Brian Reynolds, Paul Skeens, O'Neill Cruz. There's a Brian Hayes and Mitch Keller. I think three of those 5 are gone in the next year. 3 of 5.
I think they're all gone.
I don't think Paul Skeens and Cruz are gone yet because they're going to need to sell tickets.
Paul Skeens for 5 years, then he becomes a Met or a Dodger, and then Cruz gets traded to like the Yankees or some shit like that.
I think Cruz and Skeens will still be here for another year or 2. Skeens at least. Skeens has 2 more years because Bob knows That's the only way they're making money. O'Neal Cruz, I have another year on. I think there's going to be teams that go out. But Mitch Keller could be traded. Could Brian Hayes? I mean, see what you can get out of that. Brian Reynolds, I mean, he has a good contract. I mean, supposedly people think he actually loves Pittsburgh. He has a family now living here. I mean, if he doesn't want traded, you keep him, I guess. But, like, if he's going to give you a lot, you got to move on. I hate to say it because I love them all, but they're going to have to. You have to get hitting prospects. You have to get somewhat of a substance of a return that could give you a future that you don't have to just trust the draft. Take from other people's stuff. Fans have preached it all year. You have all this pitching surplus. Thomas Harrington coming up. Bubba Chandler, too. Braxton Ashcraft, Hunter Barco. All these top pitching prospects, and you flipped none of them. None of them for a star or something. They could have traded for a Luis Robert if they wanted to with all these pitching prospects. But what did they do? They signed Tommy Pham. Ben Charrington, thank you very much, man. Sorry, JJ, to bore you with that. I thought it would be fun. I'm glad you got to involve yourself with Tommy Pham for a little bit. Indulge in we are family, as Pirates fans would like to call him. Yeah.
I used to be a closet Pirates fan. I'll be honest. Back in like 2013, 2014, 2015, I was so high on the Pirates. Andrew McCutcheon was one of my favorite players growing up. To see what has happened to this organization is an absolute disgrace, a disaster. I mean, it's taken away the legitimacy of Pittsburgh in baseball.
Yeah, I hope they can fix it. Like, it gets to a point where fans will always blame the owner. It gets to a point where you got to start blaming the front office.
Here's the worst part. You have such a good ballpark, yet it is basically useless.
Hey, you've probably seen the clips of 2013 wild card game. It's packed. It's packed. And Paul Skeens said it perfectly, man. Like, that shouldn't be the standard. A wild card game. He wants to win. And you can tell he wants to win here, which is crazy.
He ain't going to be winning in Pittsburgh.
And it's sad to say. And if it's funny, like, I've told all my buddies this, there's one guy that, like, if Paul Skeens isn't the guy that can open up Bob Nutting's pay checkbook,
no one can.
No one can. You said it perfectly. But moving on, because I want to have some MLB talk now, because I know you got to go in a little bit. Overall, I guess thoughts on the season. I don't want to talk about Pirates anymore. I know you're a Mets guy. The Mets are starting out really good right now. I'm looking at the standings right
23 and 13.
Yeah, right now start. They are actually up. I think they're
number one
the
in the. I'm pretty sure we're the number one team in the MLB, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
Dodgers.
Right now, you guys are the Dodgers and the Padres are better.
Oh yeah,
24-11 Dodgers, 23-11 Padres. The Dodgers have been playing really better baseball as of late. They kind of started out clunky, but 24-11 best record in the American League. I was high on the Detroit Tigers, man. 22-13.
Credit due. I love what's going on with the Tigers. I love Spencer Torkelson. I love guys like Zach McKinstry, Tariq Skubal, Jackson Jobe, Reese Olson. Love those guys. Riley Green's a
Kerry
star.
Carpenter.
Kerry Carpenter. I love the Tigers. This is great.
But like, I guess let's just do this. Let's start with a standout team or a couple teams that have kind of looked at the best in your opinion. I'll start with you.
Well, I'm going to make this quick because I do have to get going. Best teams that I've seen so far have been the Giants, the Cubs, the Mets, and the Tigers. The National League is a juggernaut this year.
Yeah, we both said this on our show we did for the preview. I really think, as JJ heads out there, I think when it comes to Major League Baseball this year, a team that's standing out to me the most is San Francisco. I know JJ just said it too. 22-14. The NL West entirely has stood out to me the most. The Dodgers, the Padres, the Giants, and even the Diamondbacks, who are 18-17. It is a juggernaut of a division, and I honestly feel bad for the Colorado Rockies, who are 6-28. That is bad. I just ranted about the Pirates being bad. The Rockies are only 6 games back of them. How about that, guys? But yeah, The NL West looks awesome. In the American League, it's crazy. The Yankees are only 19-16. They're kind of not playing the best baseball these last 10. They just took Devin Williams out of the closer role a couple games ago, and that's going to be pretty. I think it's Luke Weaver now. The Red Sox are in there, 18-18. Tampa Bay, Toronto. The Orioles have been a surprise, 13-20. They have not started out good. It could help if they went out for pitching. It could have helped. The Tigers look awesome. The Guardians look fun as well. I got to see the Guardians play the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Jose Ramirez, Steven Kwan. Fun to watch in person. It was terrible to see the Pirates lose, but it was very fun to watch Steven Kwan get nothing but crazy singles. Jose Ramirez, belt balls. Jahanski Noel, I think, hit a home run too that series. Oh, something fun about Big Christmas. Kansas City's been on fire too, 8-2 the last 10. They haven't played the best of competition, but still 20-16. They're still in there. Minnesota 15-20. Then the White Sox 10-25. And it's crazy. The Colorado Rockies this year are going to be giving the Chicago White Sox basically a run for their money at the worst record in baseball this year. That's the American League. On the NL, I guess I already covered the NL West. I like how the Mets have been playing. The Phillies kind of starting out kind of slow for what I think I was expecting, 19-15. I was expecting a lot better out of them. And it's crazy I'm complaining about a 19-15 team, knowing my team right now is 12-24. The Atlanta Braves started out horrendous. And now they're 16-18, 2 under 500. They have played way better baseball. They brought their run differential down to a -2. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They look awesome. The Nationals have some young guys I really like. James Wood, he's been killing it this year. They're 16-19. They're only half game back, 3.5 back of a wild card spot. I know it's early, but 6.5 back of the Mets. And then the Marlins 13-21. They have some young guys. Kyle Stowers, I really like a lot. Then the NL Central, it's basically the Cubs division. It was always the Cubs division. 22-14. I picked the Cubs to win it. The Reds and Brewers tied at 18-18. The Cardinals 17-19. And the lonely Pittsburgh Pirates, yippee, 12-24. I just talked about them for like 20 minutes. Players that have stood out to me the most. And this is just saying, like, I'm just looking at the stats right here. There's literally one player in baseball, in my opinion, that deserves to be talked about the way he's being talked about. It's Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge this year, guys, is batting .414 and 133 at-bats this year. .414. This is a guy who's been known for his power, and he's still hitting .414. I was expecting by now Judge to be in like the 320, 350 range, in that range. He's outperforming that by a mile. 503 on-base percentage, a 1,262 OPS. Aaron Judge is killing it. 11 home runs, 33 RBIs. I picked Jose Ramirez to win MVP just because I wanted something different. Nothing against Aaron Judge, but Aaron Judge clearly is winning the MVP as of now. Other guys I have liked this year. Let me pull up it's easy to look at like the OPS and average leaders on MLB's website. Pete Alonso has looked awesome. He's batting .349 now. I know JJ just left. He's a resident Mets fan. 9 home runs, 33 RBIs for him. Shohei Ohtani's starting to heat up for Shohei standards. It's crazy. Like we're calling Shohei kind of slow right now. He's still hitting .292, 984 OPS, 9 home runs for him. Alex Bregman has looked awesome in a Red Sox jersey. 8 home runs, 27 ribbies, 317 average, 979 OPS. You got James Wood, who I really want to talk about here for a second. 278, 389, 571, 960. 10 home runs in his first full year of Major League Baseball. And right now he has, 23 ribbies. Kyle Schwarber is he's typical Kyle Schwarber, hitting like 242 range, 955 OPS, but 11 homers. He's doing that. Corbin Carroll, he's looked awesome. Corbin Carroll struggled before the All-Star break last year, and then we saw him skyrocket in what Corbin Carroll can be. I am really high on Corbin Carroll for the Diamondbacks, and he is a big reason they are staying afloat in that NL West. The NL West is a juggernaut, and the Diamondbacks, out of all the teams that in that division, they don't spend the most. I know they just extended Corbin Carroll, or not Corbin Carroll. They brought in a Corbin Burns, that is. But Corbin Carroll, on the other hand, he is hitting 10 homers, 27 ribbies. Here's a slash line. 287, 352, 593, 945. Corbin Carroll has been a fun player to watch. He is nothing but electric. It's kind of crazy. He only has 5 stolen bases for how fast he is, but that's going to pick up. Corbin Carroll, I picked in one of my shorts on my personal YouTube channel I have. It's crazy he's never had a 30-30 season before. He's going to have a 30-30 season. I'm just waiting for those stolen bases to just surge up. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't gotten like over that hump of 5 yet. Another guy I do want to talk about Pirates-wise, before we get to this, however, Fernando Tatis, he's killing it too, right under Carroll. 943 OPS, 317 average. He single-handedly won a game against the Pirates, stealing third with David Bednar not even knowing, and then basically going home on a wild pitch. It was a crazy move. Literally, he's the only guy that would have made it on that play. The only guy. I know Ellie De La Cruz is electric. He's fast, maybe. But Fernando Tatis' pure skill this year has put him in MVP talks, in my opinion. 8 homers, 18 ribbies, a 317 average, 387 OBP, a 556 slugging, and a 943 OPS. Fernando Tatis has looked awesome. The guy I do want to talk about those as a coming out party for him, and it's something fun I like to have. Like, he's right there. Not him. Not Skeens. I'm going to go this way. O'Neal Cruz. 33 games, and this is a guy, his defense isn't good. It's not that good. But he had a bullet of a throw yesterday. Yes, I think the runner was safe, but it was a bad tag attempt by Joey Bart. But it was a weird play where, like, it was kind of challenged after the fact, so the runner was out no matter what. But he's gunning balls 100 miles per hour home. He has a bad defensive run saved, but, like, it was brought up in a chat a minute. It went up by 3. So it went from like a -11 at the top of my head to a -8. So, like, he's slowly improving there. But that's not the key aspect of his game I want to talk about here. He has improved in the power. He's improved in the plate discipline, the walks. The strikeout rate has gone down. The walk rate has gone up because teams are scared of him. You think there's nothing else in the Pirates lineup basically to be worried about right now because Brian Reynolds is ice cold. He has not been Brian Reynolds. You kind of worry about Andrew McCutchen the way he's hitting right now. But besides that, you're not worried about Brian Hayes. You're not even close to worried about a Tommy Pham. You're not even close to being worried even more than of a Jared Triolo. Just walk O'Neal Cruz, let him steal some base. But here's how he's hitting this year. O'Neal Cruz, 252, 385, 504, and 889 OPS. It's been up to 900 before this year. But he's stealing bases. He's amongst the MLB leaders, 14 stolen bases. He finally got picked off last night. I think it was a stolen base streak of 34 at the top of my head watching these Pirate games. I like how Spencer Torkelson's been. A guy I'm a really big fan of is Seiya Suzuki of the Chicago Cubs. He just came to Pittsburgh and tore us up. He is a natural Pirate killer, in my opinion. Right now, he's batting 269, 333, 554, and 887 OPS, 9 homers. 31 RBIs. And talking about torque, I didn't even bring up how many homers he's at. He's at 10. League leaders in the home run category as of now. Kyle Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners, they call him Big Dumper. 12 home runs, 23 ribbies. I mean, he's not going to be that average hitter. 240, 359, 574, 933 OPS. He's probably the best hitting catcher right now in all baseball. He has to be. But yeah, if I'm giving out an MVP award for each league right now, it's Aaron Judge. And honestly, it's kind of tough for the National League because I think I'm going to look up when I go to National League leaders, like you go with Pete Alonso because the Mets are down red hot. You could go with Shohei because the Dodgers are really good. And I feel like Shohei, I love him, but that could be the cop-out pick just because it's Shohei. You go with Kyle Tucker. He's looking really good. Kyle Schwarber, James Wood. Corbin Carroll even. He just got the lightning card on MLB The Show. Fernando Tatis has looked awesome. If I'm going National League right now, I'm probably going with Pete Alonso just because of how good he has looked. Yes, he does strike out a good bit, but here's the thing. He has an OPS of over 1,100. So if the season ended today, my MVP picks right now, Aaron Judge, Pete Alonso. New York's getting the MVPs. But yeah, that's my MLB talk. I know JJ just did. We probably would have went longer if he was still in here. He probably would have bragged about how good the Mets are this year. But yeah, thank you all for watching this shorter episode of The Final Whistle. If you're not already, subscribe down below if you hopped in. If you hopped in or are watching this later than the fact, thanks for watching. Thank you for listening to my big Pittsburgh Pirates State of the Union. It's earlier in this video for the first 20 minutes if you want to catch that. Also, if you're in here, Go subscribe to my personal YouTube channel, Nathan Osler. You can also subscribe to this, The Final Whistle. You can go subscribe to JJ's channel, that is. You can go subscribe to him at Empire Sports Media. We simulcast on that. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one.